Thank you for listening to the 39th Street Church of Christ Daily Devotional. The devotional today is I Choose Peace by My Altitude by Jack Williams. Prince of Peace. That's where we started a couple of days ago looking at Jesus in Isaiah 9 and verse 6, that he is the Prince of Peace. And of course, he desires us to have peace. Not peace like the world thinks about. So many times we get sidetracked and we think peace is something that is here, but peace is something knowing our relationship with God. And that does help the things here immensely. We talked about the first day about having peace through our proper actions. In other words, what's causing turmoil in my life? I make proper decisions and it gets better. Become a child of God. Live like a child of God. Then we looked at the proper attitude. That is, looking and seeing instead of letting the things control me, dwelling on those things that are of no consequence and no good, that I can't do anything about. That instead I control my thoughts and I think on those things that are good. But now let's think about a proper altitude. In other words, not rising up, but reaching up. You look and you find that there are things, as we mentioned yesterday, that are beyond my control. And I need to let go. One man has said, let go and let God. And we look and we find, for example, in 1 Peter 5 and verse 6, in verse 5, he said, God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. So I need to humble myself. I need to look and realize who he is. And I need to, therefore, humble myself unto him, that realizing he is the mighty God, realizing his power. But whenever I do that, then I have no trouble realizing that I can cast my cares on him, and I know he cares for me. The reality is, as oftentimes said, if it's not big enough to be a prayer, it's not big enough to be a problem. So many times people think that, I'll handle this by myself. Why would I want to do that? Whenever I'm a child of the mighty God, why would I not want to let him handle it in his way? Well, that's going to entail, of course, proper actions, proper attitude. But that prayer is going to help me in each of those. You think about the day to day. How did you begin it? Have you gone to God in prayer? Why would we not start the day in prayer to our Father, knowing of his care for us, his mighty power for us? In the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, we find in verse 28 through 31 that if we look unto him, that we know that all things work together for good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. That's me. In other words, it's going to work out. Trouble in this life? Yeah, there may be some. But I'm not going to let that control me. I'm going to do what I can to avoid it, to overcome. But I'm going to cast my cares on him and know that ultimately heaven is my home. And then he also says in that context, if God be for us, who can be against us? Again, trusting in the mighty God, who he is, his power, that his way works. I don't need to try to improve it. I need to trust in it. And I begin with offering prayers to him. You look in verse 37, one of my favorite passages. He talks about Nabal, and all these things were more than conquerors through him that loved us. I tell my grandchildren and my children, and matter of fact, the congregation, I'm a superhero. That's what that's talking about. More than conquerors. We have the ability to overcome, but we've got to start with God. And again, where did we start today? Did we start in prayer? Did we trust God with our problems? Did we trust God with our thoughts? If we did, you know what's going to happen? In this world of turmoil, we're going to be at peace. I pray that that is the way that we do. I pray that we will have the proper altitude. Trust God. Lean upon him. Go to him in prayer, knowing he cares for us, and our God is able. Thank you for listening. You have a good day. Beginning with prayer, by the way.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this short devotional. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be notified of other devotionals that will be forthcoming. Also, we encourage you to join us online live as we stream our services at each service time. More information can be found on our website at the link below. Thank you.